Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, and for today's video I am so excited because we are doing a summer TBR, what's on my summer reading list. I haven't done a TBR video since the beginning of the year, and that was an epic fail for Q1. It's a new quarter, it's a new season, you know, we're just gonna forget that ever happened. I'm so excited to be doing this video because I feel like in a really heavy romance mood. Like, I've been reading nothing for the most part but romances, and I want to keep going. So I have a small group of books. You heard that, small group of books. I have 5 books that are on my summer TBR for the rest of the summer season. I always overdo it with my TBR, and that always leaves me disappointed and just feeling like, why do you put that many books on your TBR if you know you're not going to read it? So we're going to go simple, and we're just going to do 5. 2 things before we get into the TBR. First thing is that I am currently prioritizing my physical TBR because I have over 140 something books on there. Honestly, it's probably closer to like 150 at this point, just because I've been buying so many books and not reading as many books as I'm buying. So I feel like I'm adding and not taking away, so it's not really balancing each other out. So we're prioritizing my physical TBR. Some of these books have been on my TBR for a very long time, and we're finally getting to them. The second thing is, I'm not gonna lie, all of these books are romances. I said I'm in a romance mood, and we're just gonna keep going. I don't know what it is, but that's what I want to read. I'm just going to listen to my mood. I'm sure I'm gonna read other things other than romance, but right now, that's all I care to read. If you looked closely in the thumbnail, you probably already know the books that I'm gonna talk about, but here they are. So the first book on my TBR is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. Mia Sheridan by Mia Sheridan. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, I'm sorry. But this has been a book that has been on my physical TBR since like 2020, 2021. I bought this book because it was blowing up on Book Talk, and I was like, I really want to read it. It's a small town romance. I don't know too much about it other than there's a small town romance, and I think it's about our female main character who kind of leaves where she is, comes into this new setting, trying to heal from the traumatic passing of her father, I believe, and she encounters Archer, who is a very, you know, quiet man. He doesn't speak, and they kind of heal each other in a way and help each other grow and help each other, you know, navigate whatever it is that they're dealing with. So that's all I know about this book. I've been trying to keep it pretty spoiler free just because I know so many people, when they talk about this book, it brings up a lot of emotions. I see a lot of crying and things like that. Whenever I see a book that evokes that much emotion, I don't want to spoil too much of what it's about. I am definitely looking forward to reading this book this summer. Honestly, I'm just so eager to read it. I might read it after this video, who knows. So the second book I have, if you watched my last video, you saw me buy this book, and that is none other than Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I read the first book, Done and Dusted, last month, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I love the setting of Meadowlark. I love a good cowboy small town romance. I didn't think I did, because I tried another one and I was like not really feeling it. No, I just didn't find the one that was right for me, and this series is perfect for me. There's 4 books in the series, and the first 3 books I believe focus on the Ryder family, so each sibling in the family gets their own book, and this book follows Wes, and I am so looking forward to Wes's story just because when he was introduced to us in Done and Dusted, he was very happy, golden retriever, kind of like, you know, just a nice guy. Those are always a type of men that I love reading about in romances, so I'm super excited to read his story, especially because his love interest is kind of opposite of that. It's kind of giving golden retriever, black cat type of vibe, and his love interest is Ada. I think that's how you say her name, by the way. She's an interior designer who is from the city, so she's not really, small town vibe is not really something she's used to, but she gets a project that she's going to be working on in the city or in the small town. So she comes to Meadowlark, and while she's at a dive bar, she runs into a very handsome cowboy. They share a kiss. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Realizes that the cowboy is Wes, aka her new boss. And she's like, oh no, we're not doing this, because she is very much, I don't mix business with pleasure. I'm not doing all of this. I'm a very independent woman. I'm very interested to see how their dynamic throughout the book is going to go, because Wes is very much, I feel like, I want to explore this, and she's probably a little bit more hesitant to do that for her own reasons that I'm sure I'll get into the book. But I don't know, I already feel like me and Ada are going to be like this, because I just, from like reading the back and kind of watching interviews of Lila Sage and how she talks about the female main character in this book, I just feel already somewhat connected to her. So I'm excited for this one. I'm really excited for this one. The next book on my TBR is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is my first Kennedy Ryan book, and I feel like I have seen nothing but praise about this book. And when a book is praised so highly, I always get nervous because I'm like, I don't want my expectations to be so high for it. But honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I also am just a little bit nervous for this book because everybody who reads this book, everybody who reads this series just talks about how emotional it is. I'm not one to get scared by a book that might be a little bit emotional, but it's also summer and I'm trying to have hot girl summer, and I feel like this is not gonna give me that. But alas, I really want to read this book this summer though. It's a little bit of romance, but it's also a little bit of women's fiction, and that's something that I want to get a little bit more into. Whenever Kennedy Ryan talks about this book and talks about the entire series that this book also follows and that this book is in, she just talks about it with so much passion and so much love, and I can just tell how deeply connected she is to the story. She recognizes how much it's healed so many women and how centering women's voices and centering women's stories. I just feel like I'm going to be very much impacted by this book. But this is a second chance romance about a divorced couple who have a great co-parenting relationship. However, like magnets, they're always kind of being pulled towards each other, and they have a stolen kiss one night, and that kind of reignites some old feelings and things like that. So I'm really curious to see where the story is going to go. I feel like this and Archer's Voice, I feel like those are the two emotional books I can handle this season. The next book I have, I'm so excited. I'm excited about all of these books, but I'm extremely excited about this book, and that is none other than Flirting Lessons by Jasmine Guillory. First and foremost, this cover is so pink. It's so fun, and I love that. This is the third book by Jasmine Guillory I'm going to be reading. I read The Wedding Date. That was the first book I read by her. I liked it. I give it 4 stars. It was fun. It was cute. It was also kind of the beginning of my adult romance reading journey. So if I were to reread it again, I don't know if I would feel the exact same way, because then I read Party of Two by her, and I did not like that book. I did not like that book at all. It's just not my cup of tea. I did see this book was coming out, and I was like, you know what? I want to give her another chance because I did really enjoy the first one. So this one might be one that I also really enjoy. And also the cover is just gorgeous. Like, come on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna buy a book because the cover's pretty. This is a lesbian romance, and our main character, Avery, she's almost 30. She's fresh out of a breakup, and she's kind of like by the book, I feel like she's very like routine type of person. And from what I'm reading, she kind of wants to get out of her shell. She wants to have fun. Okay, it's giving she wants to have a hot girl summer, and she wants to go out and just date people and just have a good time. And she meets Taylor, who is a big flirt, and she also just got out of a breakup, and she kind of helps Avery flirt, essentially. She gives her flirting lessons, and throughout the lessons and things of that nature, they develop feelings for each other, I'm sure, and I'm sure it's gonna be amazing and beautiful. And it's giving friends to lovers, it's giving summer romance, it's giving everything I want it to give, and I'm so freaking excited to read this book. And the last book that I am going to prioritize this summer is not a romance exactly. It's a romantasy, you see? So romantasy, we're putting some fantasy now into our selection. And that is none other than Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. This is set in the same universe as Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. I did read that series. I enjoyed it. I was introduced to the main character, or one of the main characters in this book, Prince of Envy. I loved Envy. I said Envy is my man. I'm there for him. But this book follows one of the princes of hell, Prince of Envy, who is forced to play a very dangerous game to save his falling demon court. Yes. And in doing so, he is accompanied by Camilla, who is a mysterious artist. I don't know too much about her. He doesn't, I think, know too much about her because there is some secrets between all of them probably, but he's accompanied by her to kind of go on this journey because she's trying to avoid a scandal of her own. Someone's trying to blackmail her, and she's like, I'm going to strike this bargain with one of the princes of hell, which honestly, I don't blame her. And they're gonna work together, and they're gonna go on this journey through the underworld, and they are going to figure out what this game is about. And I don't know too much about this book other than that, but I'm so excited because I feel like I need a good fantasy for the summertime. And again, I'm in a very romance mood, so I feel like a romantasy is perfect for that. This has been on my shelf for a while now, and I think this author is already on the 3rd book in the Princes of Hell series, so I need to catch up. I just feel like there's gonna be a lot of tension and a lot of angst in this, which is exactly what I need, and I feel like coupled with the other books I have on my TBR, it's just like a perfect blend of everything. Plus, I love when there is an adventure plot line. We have to work together to go through this journey type of plot line. I just love stuff like that. I love a good adventure storyline. So I'm really excited to read this book this summer. That was probably the fastest video I have ever filmed because I only had 5 books to talk about. Wow. That's insane. But these are my 5 books that I will be prioritizing this summer. You may or may not see them in a reading vlog. I actually think I'm gonna start one of them today. I don't know which one I want to start. Part of me is like, start with Swift and Saddled, but then another part of me is like, I don't know. Archer's Voice has just been on my mind, and I don't know. I feel like Archer is a very sweet, sweet man, and I need that right now. So I might do this, especially because the book I'm currently reading, or I'm in the middle of, does not have any sweet men in them, or in it, and it is actually making me very, very angry, which is kind of the point, so it's fine. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to get into these books this summer and talk about them with you eventually, you know? We're gonna do a summer reading wrap-up in September, and we will see if I read these books. I think we will. I feel pretty confident about that. Let me know what's on your summer TBR, what's on your summer reading list. We're a few weeks in already into summer, so let me know what you've read already, if you've already been reading books for the season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!